It's great to see you all here. We know we had a busy day, and we thank you all for being here. Just to give you a quick rundown on how we're going to do this press conference, Dan Newman will get up and say a few words, our owner. We have the commissioner here, Jerry Kurz of the AFL. He'll also say a few words. Scott Hutchinson, advisor to the mayor for cultural economy, will also get up and say a few words. And Jackie Clarkson is also going to say a few words when she gets here. We understand she's running a little late. What we'll do is everybody will have their time to speak. We're going to hold questions till after, and we're going to break it down to just strict one-on-ones to try and expedite it and have it run as smoothly as possible. We'll have a schedule of that as soon as the actual speaking part is over. With that said, I'd like to welcome up New Orleans Voodoo owner Dan Newman.
That was good.
I cause thunder. I appreciate the applause. Probably the only time that a 3-13 teams hit owner will get applause like that. It was just a little over a year ago we met in this very building and announced that the New Orleans Voodoo were coming back. We finished the 2011 season tough on the field, but great in the stands and in the city. We had a great time, and we're excited to meet again today to talk about something that's just going to make it a little better for the city of New Orleans. Before we go any further, there are a few people I want to recognize. Our new head coach, Pat O'Hara, who was introduced a month or two ago, is here today, and he has already started putting together an exciting team building on what we had a year ago. And our schedule, the league schedule, will be out in a few days. It'll be disseminated throughout the press here. Coach O'Hara and his staff are going to be very challenged because the event we're about to talk about, I want us to host it. So I just dropped the gauntlet there, Coach O'Hara. I'll never have a meeting like this and not introduce the lady that has been my partner in everything for 36 years, Mary Ann. Thank you for being here today. And all of you, I want to thank you for coming. We really get good exposure in the New Orleans media, and it's not because we deserve it, it's because you people really do a good job and you support everything that happens in this city, and I want to say thank you. I'm excited to introduce a guy that has been a very close friend of mine for a number of years. I just saw Danny Wimprine walk in from the back. Quarterback, good to have you here. Thanks for coming today. New Orleans' favorite son and one of my close friends. This gentleman has been in arena football in the Arena Football League since the very beginning. The company he was part of established the league and have been there all along to make it what it is today. He is one of my closest personal friends through ups and downs. He is the commissioner of the Arena Football League and is an amazing guy that wears about 50 hats and never puts his suitcase down. He lives on an airplane. And he is responsible chiefly for spearheading this get-together we're having today through the Arena Football League, and I thank him now for that. With that being said, AFL Commissioner Jerry Kurz.
I also want to thank everybody for being here and also draw attention to the pin that I have on. I always wear an AFL pin. However, if you'll notice, this one's silver. Doesn't have the red, white, and blue coloring. It's silver because this is our 25th anniversary. Now that means an awful lot. The fact that we've been in business presenting our great sport in wonderful communities like this for 25 years. I've been doing it 27 years. Now, you might say his math's not very good. Had a league for 25 years, how has he done it 27? Well, it took us 2 years to put it together the right way. And what I love about the Arena Football League is that people can make a career in this. It's a family. The group that you have here, along with Dan and Mary Ann, who have dedicated so much to it, along with Coach O'Hara, you got John Norris, you got Gary Gussman, guys who have grown up. I always had the gray. They didn't, but they're getting there. But they're examples of this sport and how it's something that becomes part of a community. And I'm so impressed on behalf of the league at the relaunch of the Voodoo and what they did. They sold the most season tickets and at the relaunch of any team having done that. And that's just a tremendous thing. We've had some neutral site arena bowls before. We've had some hosted games. Last year we had a game in Arizona that was tremendous. NFL Network's a great partner. but they dictate that we have an 8 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff. And that meant that game kicked off at 5 o'clock. We got them to do a little 30-minute delay, so that was 5:30 local time, and that was a sellout in 4 days. However, the owners thought about it and said, you know, there was tremendous success not that long ago in 2007 and 2008 in New Orleans. And why can't we replicate that? How do we put that in a bottle and save that and do that again? It's not very often that you can replicate something as good as those games were. But we believe we can. So a proposal came to us about going to a neutral site. There's two sides to the coin always. A host team isn't involved, except Dan has thrown down the gauntlet to coach that it's intended to be a hosted game as well. The advantage of having a neutral site is that fans from all over the country can plan ahead of time. Media can come from all over. In 2007 and 2008, we had media from all over the world. We had people playing American football. They play in 52 countries. We had probably about a dozen countries represented. And the owners wanted to do that again. Dan and Marianne in their past have hosted championship games before, and we know that they've been able to do a great job. And where else but a wonderful city, tremendous city, with the backing of the city, the community, the fans here are tremendous. Sometimes I barely escape. I got a great piece of merchandise last year. I'm a little challenged on the top, but I walked away that night with a great Voodoo piece of hairpiece. And there's pictures floated out on the internet about that. But when the discussion came, they said, where can we have it? And a lot of cities raised their hand and said, well, let's have it there. We have experience. Where have the best neutral sites been? And we've had them in other places. We've had them in Las Vegas. We've had them in other sites. There's been nothing better for our league and our sport and a community that was here in 2000, 2008. So we're proud to announce. I'm pleased that I was able to get on a plane again. I do 130,000 miles a year, but it's great when I can come to a wonderful city like this with wonderful fans, wonderful community support, civic support. It's got to be everything together. Great coaching staff put together, tremendous ownership, a tremendous building. That I'm proud to announce that the 2012 Arena Bowl is a neutral site Arena Bowl in New Orleans. And how do you announce that without having a logo? And we wanted to make sure that the logo was indigenous to this game. So not only will you see that it says that, but a lot of people have to look twice, but look at the design as well. It made look at a little bit like some of the architecture that we're close to. But very proud to announce with a great unveiler our logo for the Arena Bowl 25, our silver anniversary in New Orleans. That said, I just did the easy part. I get to get all the accolades. The difficult part now is making and having the community come together under the leadership of the people here in this community, civic and business community, media as well, which is so important, with the Newmans as well, with this coaching staff, with the administration staff led by John. But that the people need to accept this as a wonderful opportunity. They did before. And that's why it was a unanimous vote of the board of directors of the Arena Football League to return to New Orleans. However, my gauntlet is down to you that we expect as wonderful a game, if not better. And it's not just a game. This is a destination place. This is a place where people want to come to. They say, where are you going to have the game? Why can't we go back to New Orleans? Well, for a small time, I'm going to be a favorite of the fans. That changes daily. But on this date, being able to announce that you all are going to host fans from all over the country, all over the world, who follow our sport and now get to come to a wonderful destination, New Orleans. I'm proud to do that, and thank you for making me a good commissioner for at least today. Thank you very much.
So we have a lot on our plates, and just so you'll know, our organization is financially responsible to make this happen. we are confident that with the support that we've seen through the 2011 season here for the Voodoo and what we saw, because we were at both of those Arena Bowls in 2007, 2008, we're gonna have not necessarily an easy time, but we're going to be successful and make this happen with the help of local folks at every level. I am proud to have the city represented here today. Scott Hutchison wants to say a few words. We could not do this without the support of the city of New Orleans. Rocky times for all of us economically. The city has stepped up and said, yes, we have the BCS National Championship football game here. We have the Sugar Bowl. We have Arena Bowl. We have the Final Four. And we've got the Super Bowl after the 2012 NFL season, and we're happy to support every one of them. And so we're glad Scott joined us today. Scott?
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. On behalf of Mayor Mitch Landrieu, we're very happy to welcome Arena Football League Commissioner Jerry Kurz and the Voodoo owner Dan Newman back to New Orleans, not only for bringing the Arena Bowl to us, but also for bringing the Voodoo back as well. The dedication of the league to host the 2012 Arena Bowl in New Orleans at the New Orleans Arena, which is also home to the Voodoo, says a lot about the recognition that the fan experience is almost as important as the competitive match that we see on the field. Not only does the city believe that the New Orleans Arena is one of the nation's premier arenas where the fans are right in the middle of the action, but that our city is truly becoming America's championship city. And with the Arena Bowl, we look forward to crowning yet another champion in New Orleans, and maybe it'll be the Voodoo. As many of you know, the last time we were fortunate to host the Arena Bowl in 2007, that led to a $25 million economic impact on this city. Tourism, sports, recreation, culture are all huge businesses in New Orleans, and we value that a great deal. We certainly expect the impact to grow as the fan base has grown for arena football. True to their own mission statement, the Arena Football League provides a wholesome entertainment for guests and family members and first-class sports entertainment. Commissioner Kurtz and Dan, we're delighted to welcome you home and look forward to the exciting season of arena football, including with our own team, the New Orleans Voodoo, and culminating in the Arena Bowl in 2012. Thank you.
Real quickly, one last thing before Brandon Rizzuto comes back. We have a lady here today who represents the most amazing group, and let me just say this. In 2008, Lanyap Ministries from right here in New Orleans provided 3,000 volunteers to man Arena Bowl events all over this town for the week of events of Arena Bowl. 3,000 volunteers. They ran shops, they did errands, they did press and media. They were amazing. And for those of you that came to Voodoo games this year, they were the people that ran all over the building, every game in the red t-shirt, Voodoo t-shirts. Lanyap Ministry Cherry, Miss Cherry, stand up. Show everybody who you are. She's amazing. And Commissioner, they have already said they're back with us for Arena Bowl 25.
Fantastic. Appreciate that.
Thank you all for being here. We'll be in touch. There'll be a lot of things that are rolling out regarding Arena Bowl 25. Please, if you have questions at any time, we're all available. We'll answer your calls. Brandon Rizzuto can always get you the information that you need and give you access to us if you have any issues. Brandon?
We understand that Jackie Clarkson, she's on her way, and as soon as she gets here, we'll make sure she has the opportunity to speak to the media in the one-on-one interviews. First off, we'll have Commissioner Jerry Kurz. He'll speak first, followed by Dan Newman, Scott Hutchinson, Jackie when she gets here, and then Pat O'Hara, our head coach, John Norris, and any other staff, including Danny Wimprine, that you might be interested in speaking with. We'll start off with Jerry Kurz first. You guys can come up to the podium if you like.
If you have one-on-one.